Yes, sir. Just one moment. Yes, sir. Okay. Take your time, brother. I'm here.
And we are okay. Wonderful, excellent. I was waiting for the signal, and we are live. Man, we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a special edition of Off the Record. We have a wonderful guest this evening. I want to thank everyone for tuning in as we speak to our brother Larry. Brother Larry, how do I pronounce your last name? So I don't want to say it wrong. Rivera?
Can you repeat that, brother? You speak, brother Joshua, a little fast. If you could slow it down for me, because I'm very hard of hearing. Everybody's going to find out now that I don't hear well, because I'm actually interacting and I have to use my ears. So a lot of people are going to find, who are probably listening, don't know that I'm 60% deaf in both ears. So you got to kind of slow it down for me, brother.
Yes, sir. I said, brother, how do I pronounce your last name?
Rivera.
Rivera. Yes, sir. Brother Larry Rivera.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother, I want to get started, sir, and say that, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And I want to say that I saw of you the video that went viral, that everyone saw, where you were interacting with the Most High Missile Farrakhan, and it was very emotional and it was very inspiring. Could you explain to us how that came about and how were you feeling when that took place?
Boy, brother, you going heavy right at the very beginning, brother. Yes, sir. The heaviest question someone probably could ask me, brother. That's a heavy question to be asked at the very beginning, brother. And brother, it's an honor, brother. First, I want to thank you for having me on. I want to make that very clear. It's an honor, brother, to be talking to you, to be on your show. And as I said to you offline, brother, I admired your father from a distance for many years. He was an example for me, still is an example for me. And you being a child of his, and as we speak today, I just hope that everybody understands, the love that not only that I have, but a lot of people have across not just this country, but around the world for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brother. And, when I was 23 years old, brother, I was in a jail cell, or I say a prison cell. And I had already been incarcerated for about 4 years. And I had already earned my 4-year degree from Shaw University. Give a shout out to Shaw University, HBCU. And I had earned that degree in business administration while I was incarcerated. Jackson was there, Madoff is there now. So many different, they called them high profile, but I was just, people say you blessed to be in prison, but I was blessed to actually go into this particular facility first before I then began to get transferred, and I obtained a 4-year degree. And it's relevant to, the question, brother. But, I had always been taught, when I was a young man, that you got to go to college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college. While I was incarcerated, brother, I still got my 4-year degree. I had a drive, I had a motivation. And that in 1995, I was incarcerated then for only 2 years. And that's when the Million Man March came about. And it was the most powerful experience across federal prison in the history of the federal prison, because from what we were told then, I don't know from now, but it was the first time that they didn't have a 4 o'clock count across the nation when 4 o'clock came across. And that means that everybody would have to stand up in the prison, in the federal prisons, and they would actually count the people by the regions. And they were, every prisoner, you would know in your region, everybody in that particular region or that time zone was standing up if they were in federal prison. And when the Million Man March came about, people across the United States decided that in federal prison, decided that we didn't want to leave in the middle of watching the Million Man March and go to a 4 o'clock count and maybe miss out on about an hour, hour and a half. And it was the first time in federal prison history that it came from Washington, D.C., be the headquarters, that there was no 4 o'clock count. So that was a major experience for me, walking out and walked around, and did our own little march around the track. And that was a very, powerful experience, brother. And I remember listening to the minister then, and I was like, man, that black man there. And I was incarcerated, and there were some brothers there who were, in the Nation of Islam at that particular time. But they didn't capture me, brother. Mm-hmm. And so, but when I saw the minister of the Million Man March, I was all for it at that particular time. And I was only then around 21, I think, 22 years old at the particular time. And so, that was an experience. Let's just talk about that. That was an experience watching that, brother, and seeing the power it had in prison, and it even ignited some riots across the United States within the federal prisons and some state prisons, because you're going to have a 4:00 count, or you're going to come out of that TV room and you're going to go to your room. And these guys refused to go. So therefore, things kicked off, things took place. And that afforded me the right, because then it was sent across BOP that, listen, let them stay in that TV room. That was a powerful experience, that one man, brother. I just want, make this very clear to those who are watching. I can't see the live right now. This is from my heart. All these black men across the nation. And I remember, brother, reading, hearing how even women were getting angry. Why is it all men? Why is it you calling all black men? And I remember the controversy. I was only 22 years old at the particular time in prison. And I just remember, brother, not even knowing the difference between, I couldn't tell you no chapters in the Bible. By the time I didn't know nothing about, I've been to church and stuff like that, but I didn't study the Bible. I was like, most people said they were Christian. You didn't know anything about the book. You didn't never read it yourself. So, I didn't know anything about it, brother. So this was a particular time in my life, brother, where I'm incarcerated with 10 years and 3 months. I was in college. I wanted to be a veterinarian, graduated out of the 11th grade, and number one fighter in the United States in my weight division by the time I was 15 years old, trained at the Olympic Training Center by the time I was 15 years old, double gold medalist in the Junior Olympics. I just want to bring relevance to this, bro. You asked that question, so I'm going to answer it, yes, and I'm going to do my very best and ask Allah, allow me to make it very clear to anybody that's watching that they will understand who this brother is that you asked about, and why did I cry, and why do I still cry? If I watch that video now, I'm going to get tears in my eyes. People send it to me every so often, where they'll tag me, and I'll look at it, brother, and I have to be careful where I'm at, because if I'm in the wrong space or wrong place at the particular time, not even wrong, but just in a place where people may not understand, I'll get emotional, brother, because that's how much the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has changed my life through videotapes. So, 2 years later, after the Million Man March, brother, I'm now been transferred from prison to prison. I started getting in some trouble. They transferred me from one prison after I graduated with a 4-year degree. My custody level decreased. And so they sent me to another prison, which was across the street. They were now building complexes. When I went in, brother, to federal prison, federal prison didn't have a lot of facilities that were particularly for black people or young black people for federal crime. But then when they changed the crack law inside the federal system, it was mostly that white collar crimes or some type of federal crime that someone would go into the feds. So, they were still eating shrimp. They were still eating steak when I went into the federal prison system. When I first went in, things changed quick afterwards. When all the young black men start, coming into the federal prison, the game changed. When I came in, they were giving you free education. I got a free 4-year degree from Shaw University that I don't know exactly how much it is right now, but I know it's a private, HBCU, and it's very expensive, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year. So, and I got a free education, brother, in federal prison. Yeah, brother. So, things started changing later. And when I first came in, people were wearing their Coogee sweaters, I wear my hat just like you see right now. I wear whatever I want. People had, Gucci shoes, and we in prison, brother, with Gucci shoes, with Jordans, with anything you seen out here, Cartier glasses, we had them in prison as well. And it was allowed. So Allah allowed me to come in through the federal prison, brother. I asked God when I got convicted, and I said, man, what in the world am I doing in here? How did I end up here? How did I get from this point to this point in the twinkling of an eye, brother.
Mm.
And while I was on a college campus, you know, at a college party, I was made an offer that I thought was some street guy that had some kind of little, you know, bro, I'm young, I'm 17 years old, that had some kind of, you know, I don't know, he tuned in on me or something and knew that maybe I was looking to make some money. And so I started then selling guns when I was only 17 years old. While I was in college, I was actually propositioned on a college campus. And then later, brother, I ended up finding out that it was an agent, not like an agent, someone who goes and who's in the street. I'm talking about somebody who actually works for the government. So that experience alone, brother, you know, that transition, going from being hard-headed, not listening to my mom, she told me I thought I knew everything. And so when I was only 17 in college, coming out of the 11th grade, I easily fell into some traps. And to know that it wasn't somebody from the street, but on a college campus, as I tell parents and I tell children today, and I tell grandparents today, and I tell people today, when I speak, I say, how would you like to know that there are actually agents on college campuses seeking out the brightest of us? And when I went to federal prison, brother, at Butner, you know, shout out to the brothers who played basketball at Butner, because they would bring in second string players from NC State. And they would come play a lot of the brothers that I was incarcerated with. When I got to federal prison, I saw it was a lot of us that was off college campuses, that was in college, basketball players, wrestlers, football players. Many of us were in federal prison. And these brothers played for college, played for Winston-Salem State University, played from Central, and these brothers were incarcerated. So NC State would send part of their team. I don't know exactly which players they sent in, but it was NC State, you know, and they would send their players in. And brother, we would sit in prison and watch a damn good game. Do you hear me, brother? I'm sharing with you, brother. I'm in this spirit because you asked that question first. And I just want, you know, you, the viewers, anybody watching, to truly understand, you know, where I come from, the mindset I come from, where I ended up, because I thought I knew, fell into some traps, and then from videotapes, brother, a man saves me, brother. And I know the Honorable Minister was Farrakhan, he'll say, no, brother, I didn't save you. Allah saved you, brother. And I said, and you know, but the reality is that Allah worked through a vessel. And he worked through another vessel and many more vessels who prepared me for that moment. And there was a brother named Kevin X inside this cell, brother, in 1997, around February, March, it was around beginning of March. And I hadn't been his roommate. I'm at Memphis, Tennessee, federal prison. After being shipped, after going through some things, seeing crazy stuff from federal prison, brother, start shifting. You know, things start changing. They took the shrimp away. They took the steak away. You know what I'm saying? They took our clothes away. We couldn't wear the clothes. They started taking the money. Brother, we had money in our pocket in prison, like $20 bills, $50 bills. We had that in prison when I first went to federal prison. So, you know, I went in, brother, when the transition was taking place, where it was no longer becoming a facility for rich white folks, rich white men, or people from all over the country. I was locked up with the guy, the spy, that's John Pollard, who's now the Israeli spy that I think it was Clinton refused pardon. I believe it was him. But I was locked up, but his name is John Pollard. You can Google him, locked up with him. These are spies. These are brothers. These were just, you know, some things, brother, that I witnessed with being in a federal prison and having a mental hospital attached to that particular federal prison. And that mental hospital, the patients or the prisoners those who pleaded insanity, you know, people don't know what happens once you plead insanity, once you say you crazy, once you say you lost your mind, and you tell these people this in the courtroom, and you say, yeah, I lost my mind when I committed this crime, well, then you commit yourself. And you get what you call, when we was in federal prison, we call it a P number. The P stands for psychology or psychiatrist, and we're psych. And so you get a P number. Once you get a P number, you become pretty much like a ward of, you know, the state. You become the ward of the government. And so I was at federal prison at Butner, brother, and they had a mental institution that was attached to it. And we would interact, eat with these people and everything. So I was always a brother. You remember, I was in college, so I came in, brother, wanting to study. I came in, wanted to learn. How did I get into this world? I know I got in by rebelling. I know I got in by not listening to my upbringing and listening to the women who brought me into this world and who raised me, my aunts and my pop who raised me from the time I was 7. You know, I understood that. But how did I get into this situation? So I went into prison trying to figure this out, brother, reading my PSI, which is a report, reading all the statements that was made against me, reading the newspaper articles, seeing everybody else who was getting incarcerated, finding out people who I went to high school with who are now turning agents. And I don't knock them, brother. We were children. I don't knock them anymore like I used to. Understand now that I look back, because we all were being played against each other. And I'm just a nerd, brother, fighter, whether it was street or in tournament. I'm just a nerd, brother, who, just got caught into the federal prison being rebellious into stuff you know nothing about, thought I knew, and then ended up in federal prison, brother, on a journey. And a brother in Memphis, Tennessee, who was from Hollywood, California, had me in a session teaching me. It's like one of the young brother in prison and the older brother that's sitting there educating him. Then the young brother gets a little disrespectful. Then the older brother kind of check him. It was like one of them kind of stories, man. But he was checking me in love with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, how I've never heard it expressed and brought to me before. And he was putting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the forefront. And he was teaching me, and brother, I started asking him questions, because I knew some brothers who were in the Nation of Islam, but let's keep it real. I mean, I'm sure, brother, let's keep it real. Everybody don't live up to it, to the same degrees. And then at the same time, it just takes different brothers sometimes or different sisters to reach different brothers and reach different sisters. It just takes the personality that you see somebody that just, oh man, he ain't keeping it real. Right. And he may be keeping it real to the utmost that he possibly can. And he may be reaching people, saying that he's reaching with his flaws. But a brother reached me, brother, with his own little flaws, brother. And he wasn't perfect like I'm not perfect, like none of us is perfect, brother. And he reached me in a jail cell late at night, brother, because I had a ton of questions. And, I had a 4-year degree. I thought I knew. Every time I spoke, I was articulate. I've traveled, I've done things, I've had experiences. I'm in a military town, Fort Bragg, so I've met people from all over the world. So I thought I knew something, brother. So I'm sitting here and I call myself debating this, brother. Now, I don't know the difference between, Old Testament and New Testament. This is true. But I think I know something, black man. And so I'm talking to this brother, and this brother's just clearly, brother, I'm no dummy. This brother is clearly making this message, crystal clear to me. And I started listening. This is in one night, brother. I had locks. I gambled when I was in prison. I wasn't no thug. I ain't gonna sit here in front like that, brother. But I was a brother. And I was a thorough brother, and I'm still a thorough brother. And so those who were in the streets real strong, even to this very day, still got a lot of love for Brother Larry, because there's still a little bit of code, brother, out there. And I thank my family for raising me on that code, brother. And I thank them because when this brother was teaching me, it made me listen. And brother, he made it so clear. And I asked him question after question after question after question. And then he told me God was man. And brother, I said, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. This is making some sense to me. Yes, now, mind you, brother, by the time I was 18 years old, I wasn't eating pork. A brother who was a 5%er had already started schooling me when I was 17. So I stopped eating pork just off of him teaching me about the pig. But I ain't know, brother. I ain't know that's Islam. I don't know. I'm just getting knowledge. And then, I took African-American study classes in my college. So I thought I knew a little something about Black studies, So, you think you know things, brother, who thought he knew, man, and then I met a brother who knew way more than me. And not only did he know way more than me, brother, he can explain it and make it crystal clear to me, brother. And he was doing this in a prison cell at Memphis, FCI, Memphis Medium. And brother, this brother was teaching me, man. And brother, I remember just thinking, and I was just, brother, he was taking me, and I got a little bit, during the debate, I got like some people get on social media, you get a little fly. Out the mouth, somebody say something and you really, you asking the same question, but you really just dodging it, and you just BSing the brother. And the brother got frustrated with me. And then the brother said, brother, listen, brother. His name is Brother Kevin X. I love Brother Kevin X. And I don't talk to Brother Kevin X, maybe, brother, like once every 4 or 5 years or something like that, brother. But I love this brother, man. And this brother, he said, brother, he was a Golden Glove boxer. So he said, brother, he said, don't disrespect the teachings, brother. He said, brother, I've taken the time out to teach you, you know what I'm saying, about the man of God. He said, just listen, brother. And brother, he went on and said what he had to say, and I humbled myself. But what I saw in him, brother, I hadn't seen before in somebody. I saw something, brother, I didn't quite understand at the particular time, but it struck a chord with me, brother. And I said, I'm going to humble myself to this brother. I'm just going to listen. So, brother, he started schooling me, black man, and then I got up on the top bunk, brother. I'm like, I'm feeling this. I'm on the top bunk, brother. And he said, brother, you to read this. And he handed me a piece of paper, brother. And it was a copy out of the final call, but it was talking about the farmland and the woman. And wouldn't you plant a seed? Wouldn't you want your farmland? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching, you know, about the value of farmland, but also likening it to the black woman and how you produce good crop, but also how you produce good crop through the black woman. And as I'm reading this, brother, and he was asking the questions as he was teaching, and I'm reading this, and I heard a voice in my ear. And see, brother, this is why, you know, I don't get rocked on my foundation about who the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan is, who the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, who Master Farrakhan Muhammad is. If Brother Larry ever trips and falls, blame it on Brother Larry. Don't blame it on the teachers, because I know my experience and I'm not crazy. So anything news ever come out and say about Brother Larry, charge it to the vessel, charge it to the flesh, charge it to 22 years not knowing the truth, 23 years not knowing the truth. Charge it to being born in sin and shaped into iniquity. Don't charge it to the truth. You understand, brother? So when you know something, brother, you know it. So as I'm reading this article, brother, I hear a voice in my ear. And every word I read in the article, brother, now, you know, it's late at night. It's quiet across this prison, you know, inside this unit. We call them units. And it's quiet. You couldn't hear nobody outside or anything. And I'm listening. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this voice as I'm reading, and I'm looking at him. And they called the brother Kevin X, also nickname was Smiley. He had a big smile. He looked like a nerd, brother. He looked like a nerd, right? But brother, he'll knock you out. He will knock you out. You know, he was a Golden Glove boxer, and he will knock you out. And so brother, he looked like a nerd, and he's looking at me, and I'm on the top bunk sitting, and he's kind of like, you know, standing, you know, at the bunk, and I'm seeing him, and I keep looking up at him. I keep hearing his voice. Every time I put my head down to read, I heard the voice, brother. And it's like the voice was yelling the words in my head. So finally, brother, I said, man, this brother's gonna think I'm crazy. I didn't even have time to really think about it like that, brother, but I remember kept looking up at him like, man, what in the world? And I'm reading, and I look up, and every time I pick my head up, the voice stopped. True story, black man. And I said, brother, I hear something. I said, there's a voice in my head. And the brother Kevin X said, brother, he said, you're reading the article of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaking to you, brother. And I said, you know, and I didn't say brother. Let me keep it real with you, bro. I wasn't saying brother and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, switch the languages, you know. So I said, Sam, brother, so he said, that's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This brother goes into his locker. Now, we were not allowed to have tape cassette players and headphones. We were allowed to have a Walkman that can tune in either to like the satellite station, or it can tune into, you know, your regular radio station, you know, where you were, you know, at that particular. So we're allowed to have that, but we were not allowed to have a Walkman. You can get a Walkman out of the chapel. Well, he had connections. He was well known and well respected at the particular time. Oh, excuse me, brother. You do this, brother. Yes, sir. So he had, the lights went out, brother. Let there be light, brother. Right at that moment, brother. That's how it was, black man. That's how my life was changed, though, brother. But listen, brother. So, you know, I look up at him and he said, brother, that's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he pulls out, he said, wait a minute. So, brother, he goes and he pulls out this. I hadn't been his cellie, his roommate, for about probably 3-4 days at this particular time. He goes and he pulls out this tape player, brother, and he says, listen to this. He hands it to me. I put the headphones on. He clicks it, brother, and I hear the voice teaching, brother. And I said, brother, that's the voice. I didn't say brother, you know, and he'll bear witness to it. He's not on no social media, nothing, brother. Kevin X ain't on, you can't find him nowhere. You can't Google him, nothing, but brothers know him. And so listen, brother. He said, brother, that's not the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, brother. He said, that's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And brother, and the tape was Power at Last.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At Madison Square Garden, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The minister was going hard, black man. Woo, that was powerful, brother. And brother, true story, brother. I got off that bunk. I handed him, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I handed him the tape player. Brother, I went and looked in the mirror. Brother, I got back in that top bunk. I got up under them covers, brother. True story, black man.
Yes, sir.
I laid down, brother. And then around 5:30 that morning, because we was up late at night, maybe 12, 1 o'clock that night, I woke up, jumped off the top bunk. I started washing my face in the sink. You know, you had the little push button, little water come out for a few seconds. You washing your face. You got the little mirror, brother, that bends, you know, so you can't break it and make it into no weapon. And brother, I'm looking at this little mirror that's scratched all up too, because if you rub it with a SOS pad, it's ruined, right? So I'm looking at it, brother, and I break down, started crying. And this is in 1997. I'm 24 years old, but I just turned 24 years old. Just that one night. And brother, I'm crying, brother. And the brother Kevin X, he sat up and he looked at me and he said, black man, you all right? You know, and I looked at him and brother, I cried for about 10, 15 seconds, brother, just crying. I looked at him, I said, brother, I got it. I got it. That's what I looked at him, I said, I got it, brother. I got it, brother. And he said, you all right, brother? I said, brother. I didn't say no, brother. You know, I would just say, man, you know, man, I got it. I got it. I said, finally, man. I said, man, I was willing to die for nothing. Now I finally got something to live for. And I ain't been the same since, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the true story, brother. I cut my locks off that day. Brother, I shaved. I had a little bit, you know, I ain't have much then, you know what I'm saying? But it was few little hairs where I shaved it. I went and ironed my clothes, brother. And brother, when they were cutting my hair, you know, brothers who were incarcerated me at FCI Memphis, who are now we're older, you know, because I was only 24, I'm 46 now. You know, when we see each other at Savior's Days, or when I just see these brothers on Facebook who are not FOI, not Muslims, they Christian, or they, you know, Black Panther, whatever it is, brother. And these brothers hit me up and they say, Brother Larry, man, I see you still at it, brother. Man, I see what you're doing, man. I'm proud of you, man. Brother, we thought you were crazy. Because I literally went from the gambler. I just got shipped for busting a guy in the head with an iron, you know? And so that was a few months before then. I just got, you know, brother, brother, so much happened in a short period of time. Tupac was killed right before then, you know, I mean, while I was in the hole, Tupac was killed during this process. You know, ended up at FCI. I had been then, brother, the first time I placed on got poison at Atlanta Penitentiary, and the whole guards put something in my food. True story, brother. Put me on a plane, shipped me off because my mother called up there going off, threatening. Next day, they put me on a plane, brother. I get on this plane, brother. It ain't nothing but inmates, and then the plane lands in the prison, man. You know, just before this meeting, but this is only a couple of months before this meeting with Brother Kevin X. There's a process. This is why I want to share this process. our process, you know, and we come to Joe, run across it and we miss it. You know, I'm not taking an opportunity, and I didn't opportunities. I heard was in person, and I heard that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan was coming, you know, Greensboro, but I just heard Farrakhan, you know, Farrakhan, you know, is coming. And so guys in the college, they weren't going to go in and mess in prison. And then, brother, I had another opportunity, the Million Man March, but I had another opportunity also when the minister was on, it wasn't Donahue, it was when I was on, at this time I was on house arrest, awaiting trial. And the minister came on, brother, and I want to say it was the one with, it's the one where he was wearing red and they showed the compound, they showed, and all that kind of stuff. And brother, and I saw that, and I remember having a thought, then, you know, you got to remember, Black Man, the Malcolm X movie was coming out around this time too, you know? So Malcolm X was coming out, so I learned about Malcolm X a little bit, but I didn't know about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I didn't know about the work he did. I didn't know that he opened up more mosques than Malcolm. I didn't know he sold more Final Cause or more Muhammad Speaks than Malcolm. I didn't know about this, brother. You understand? So I had missed my opportunities, man, but it took God to take me to, I mean, brother, you know, they say it's the lowest of the low, man. They took me into prison, brother. And, you know, and so to take me into the prison holes, brother, and to see what they were doing to my people, man, I witnessed it with my own two eyes and then became a victim of it, you know, and then to see, you know, God see you through and I survive all this stuff, brother, end up in a hospital at Oklahoma City, you know, federal prison, transit center, and then ended up at Memphis, all these processes, brother. And then I end up with a brother, Kevin X, sitting there, a Black man, you know, a brother with a drug charge, with a lot of years, and who's home now, you know, another Black man that's just like me, brother, you know, that Allah came through to reach me at a particular time in my life where I had realized that, man, I don't know too much because it keep getting worse and worse and worse. It kept getting worse and worse, brother. It was like, the situation kept getting worse. So when that morning came, brother, I changed my life, Black man. And I accepted my own and became myself. And my life, brother, was like my life had just lined up. Brother, brother, called all my family, called everybody. Some people home, you know, I'm calling them with my little 15 minutes, brother. Some people was thinking, Barry, are you all right? Slow it down, man. You know, this is my brother, the first day. I'm to my first day. I'm telling everybody, I'm changing my life. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm now going to fight for my people. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And now I look back, brother, you know, I look back now, you know, 22 years ago, now I can see what others were seeing in me. But some of us come into this truth that way. It clicks. You know, it wasn't a process of where, like yourself, brother, you were blessed to be able to be raised always believing. You see, in my situation, brother, it's a lot different and totally different perspective. You know, one who didn't know, it just clicked. And when I met the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brother, that was not the first time I met the minister. When I first got out of prison, 2002, he was speaking at Reverend Willie Wilson's church in Washington, D.C. So this was in 2002. And I snuck up there. I wasn't supposed to go up there, you know, without permission. But I was like, man, I'm going to listen to the minister. You know, I said, when I can't wait till I get out of prison, man. I said, if this send me back to prison, so what? I'll do them few months. I can go back and tell everybody I got to see the minister, right? And so that's how it is, brother. It really is like that for a lot of brothers, man. And so, you know, brother, when I went up there, brother, I'm up there and I'm listening to the minister and I'm in the crowd. I got my, you know, my suit on, I got my bow tie on, I'm shaved, you know, I'm FOI in prison, but I'm not yet registered when I come home. So I'm sitting in the crowd, brother, and when the minister stopped speaking and the minister was up there, you know, he's shaking people's hands, bro. I got out my seat, bro. I said, I'm gonna go talk to the minister. I'm gonna say hello to the minister. I want to thank him, right? So I walked up, brother. This is true story, brother, and this is gonna get to this story. make it very crystal clear that I know God is into this, brother. And I
Yes.
know this is God, but I knew it then. And brother, so I went up and the minister was getting ready to walk behind the stage. And brother Mustafa was right behind him. I was like, I'm going Brother Mustafa, he looks at me. This is in 2002. And he said, Pops, hey, Pops. He was reaching forward, you know, like Pops. And the minister turned around and he said, the young brother wants to speak with you. So the minister walks over. At this time, brother, in 2002, brother, I'm 27 years old. All right. Yeah, 29 years old, bro. I'm 29 years old. So, brother, I reach my hand out and the minister grabs my hand. Now he's on the stage. I'm at the bottom of the stage and he grabs my hand, brother, and I felt it. His hands was extremely soft.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I felt it, brother. He squeezed my hand. He was strong. I ain't saying he's soft. I said his hand was soft. You understand? And he squeezed and grabbed my hand. And brother, I burst out crying then, brother. And I told the minister, and I did on behalf, all I said to him was on behalf of all the brothers who are in federal prison across the United States. Thank you. He said, brother, it's an honor to meet you, brother. I said, brother minister, it's an honor to meet you. He said, brother, I didn't save you. He said, Allah saved you. And I said, thank you, brother. He just kept saying, it's an honor to meet you, brother. And I cried then. That's all we got to say. How this next meeting came about, brother. Brothers who I was incarcerated with during this Flint, Michigan situation where they still got the lead in the water. But when it was first breaking out, and we was at Savior's Day, brother, and none of us at the time were registered Muslims. This is only 3.5 years ago, and we weren't registered, but we FOI from coming out of prison, and brothers are disciplined, and we say, you know what, man, we listen to Brother Abdullah speak at one of the workshops, and he says, has anybody thought about the people who are in jail? They're still drinking that lead water. And brother, that struck a chord with us. We was in there listening. We was like, man, and brother, take a truckload of water and deliver it to the jail in Flint, Michigan. And so, brother, when he said that, we were looking at each other like, brother, we gonna make that happen for Brother Abdullah. You know what I'm saying? We gonna make that happen. We gonna help our brother. So that's what we did, brother. A few months later, I don't think it was a few months, just a couple of weeks later, brother. Brother, what we were doing, bro, we were getting ready to just show you how this thing, we were gonna raise, we were gonna have everybody come drop the water off, right? And we were like, man, we get all this water, how are we gonna drop that water up to Flint, Michigan? We got to then rent a truck. And then our brother, said, brother, no, buy it up in Michigan. And then maybe have them deliver it, buy a truckload up there in Michigan or rent a truck. And so brothers got together, brother. We worked that out with Brother Abdullah. We flew up there, brother. We got the rental vehicle. We loaded it up with water. We took it, brother, to the jail. They received it. Brother Abdullah made sure that took place. Brother Arthur Woodson, who's an activist out of Flint, Michigan, he made some connections for us. So then after that, we heard that the minister was going to be speaking. And we said, well, man, we in Flint, how far is Chicago? We said, man, we'll make it. And so we said, we'll ride out there. So we rode out about 4 hours to Chicago. It was a youth message that he was delivering. And we went out there, brother, and we listened to that. And after the minister spoke, man, we enjoyed it. We had a beautiful time, received the message. And then they said, some of the brothers we know from prison or, FOI in Chicago. And they were like, brother, they have some other things that's taking place inside of the gym at Muhammad University. I was like, man, perfect. I wanted to tour Muhammad University anyways, but I've been to, the mosque and been to plenty of Savior's Day. We've been plenty of times before, but there was something special about this one, black man. And we decided we went in the gym. We started running to brothers. We start talking to brothers. We start having good conversations, brother. We was enjoying ourselves, and all of a sudden, brother, you know, we could see the environment changing. We all were incarcerated, so we could see the environment's changing. We was like, something's switching around here, you know, something's changing around here, you know. And then you could see it, brother, you know, you could feel it, you know. So we saw, and we was like, the minister coming through. And we was like, the minister coming through. And then all of a sudden, here comes the minister, brother. And during this time when the minister was coming, we were already talking to Brother Mustafa. And we were having conversation with Brother Mustafa, and one of the brothers said, hey, you know, brother, these are the brothers who delivered water to the jail in Michigan. Brother Mustafa was like, oh, yeah? He was like, oh, he started talking to us. And then one of the brothers said, and Brother Larry, he come out of prison, Brother Mustafa, and he owns a school. And brother was like, brother, what? And he was like, you know, we just having a good conversation, brother. And then the minister come in, brother, and the minister's walking through, and Brother Mustafa look at us. He said, come with me. True story, black man. And it was a crowd around the minister, brother. Ministers hugging people and everything, brother. You couldn't even see through the crowd. And Brother Mustafa went, brother, and brother, it's like it parted like the Red Sea, brother. And it opened up, brother. It's a true story, brother. That's how it looked, brother. It opened up, brother, and there was the minister, brother. And brother, you know, I walk up to the minister, brother, and as soon as I shake his hand, brother, and brother, because I know what the minister has done for me, brother. You understand? The minister, brother, not only what he's done for me, what he did for the brothers that was with me, man, who I love these brothers, and many brothers and sisters across this country who I love dearly, my mother, my pop. The minister has changed so many people around me, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That the relationships that God has blessed me to have today, brother, you know what I'm saying, is such a blessing, man, because of what the minister has put in them, not what I put in them. The minister has shaped and molded people for me. That's how, me for them. Yes, so when I met the minister, brother, all that came out of me, brother. You understand? I'm just so grateful, you know, to God, brother, for giving me a second chance, brother. You know, because I really thought I knew, brother, before I got this message. And I really thought I had something. And then, brother, you know, a brother taught me something later. He said, brother, you know, the knowledge that you had when you got into the situation is not the same knowledge you can use, brother, to get out of the situation, brother. And so I know that when I went into prison, brother, I knew when that judge told me, brother, he said guilty. And he said it, brother, with a little, you know, pumph behind it. It was a jury reading it. And no, if I'm mistaken, it was a judge, brother. And brother, when he read it, brother, something struck me, man. Because I remember, brother, I was like, what in the world? You know, I just knew I was getting out of prison. You know, I knew I wasn't going to get found guilty. I knew I wasn't going to get found guilty. You ain't have no proof on me. You know what I'm saying? That's just the mentality of a young man, brother, young boy. And brother, looking into my life, when I shook the minister's hand, brother, I had a conversation with the minister. We got to talk. That was a short video, but we got to converse with one another. And then my brothers got to talk to the minister. And one of my brothers started talking to the minister and start, you know, boasting and bragging about me. You understand? And he loved the minister just as much. And that was his first time, but he talking about me. And brother, you know, these kind of experiences, when you see, you know, this kind of brotherly love, there's a brotherly love that's, you know, masquerade to the people out there through hip hop and all kind of other, you know, these little shows or these little movies they put out there, and they try to make that seem what brotherhood is. You know, that, you know, you willing to do this or you do that, or, you know, whatever, brother, what they do inside these movies, or try to prove what brotherhood, brother. I know what a brotherhood is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know?
Sir.
I know the experience of having brothers in my life that I can count on, that I can go to with any problem, and the brother is going to speak the truth regardless of circumstances. Even if it convicts him, he's still going to give me good wisdom. And not only is he going to give me something, when I go, he's prepared. He's always ready. He's always on time. He's always up on the current events to make it relevant to me, black man. And this is all because of a man who decided to rebuild the Nation of Islam. I mean, brother, you know, so when I went, brother, And I cried, brother. You know, the brothers weren't shocked because anytime I go to a Savior's Day and a minister walk out, you know, 9 times out of 10, not every time, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to start crying. Because I know who this man is. I know the experience I had. And see, this is why I say to a lot of people with Malcolm X situation, you know, it didn't mean nothing to me, his experience, until I ended up becoming FOY, until I became a believer. Whether you become an FOY or not, once you become a believer, you a believer.
Yes, sir.
You know Malcolm X. Y'all read the book, right? You watched the movie? I ask people that question, and I'll say, did you ever hear him deny the experience he had when he was in a prison cell? I mean, and I say, now, one or two things. If what we have is not the truth, if you saying it's because Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam, is one or two things. Malcolm X was either crazy, all right? One or two. But he never could say, he was either crazy or he knew something. And he couldn't deny it. Because all the things he said, I never heard him ever deny. You know what? That experience I wrote it in my Alex Taylor or whatever, or Alex, whatever I lied about, I made that up. You see? So, brother, when you know this truth, you know what to look for. You see? When you know this truth, when you had these kind of experiences in your life, you peep it immediately. But see, people who don't have that kind of experience, they can't see it. Mm-hmm. But a person who's had that kind of experience, brother, I know what I experienced. And then later, he saw an apparition. You see, he saw something, but something spoke to him. So that's the similar experience, not like that, but I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking to me, and I ain't spooky. I'm far from spooky, brother. I don't care if people believe it, don't want to believe it. They think I'm crazy. You know what I told people then, and I tell people now, watch my work. And it ain't my work, all right? It's God's work through the people that's with me.
Yes, sir.
I'm just a face. That's it, brother. I'm just a student, brother. That's it. I'm just a student, and I'm a humble student. Not a perfect one, but I'm a humble student. And listen, I'm not going to disagree with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And this is for anybody who's tuning in, who's listening to my beautiful brother's show. Yes, I take it that serious when someone becomes my Facebook friend or someone comes and shakes my hand and they know who I love, and then you come out and you speak out against a man I know that you don't know.
Yes, sir.
Because if you knew him, you wouldn't be saying what you're saying about him. All right. So I know, and I tell people all the time, look at my work. And it ain't my work. It's the people around me work. I'm just a face. Because brothers took the time while I was incarcerated to groom me. The brother said, brother Larry, you got the smallest amount of time amongst us. I had 10 years and 3 months, and you got to serve that time. And you got the smallest amount of time amongst us, brother. We got life. We got 27 years. We got 30 years, 33 years, 18 years. We're going to groom you, black man. So when you go home, you prepare a way for us when we come home. And this is what these brothers did, brother. And I thank Allah for these black men in multiple different prisons. Whatever prison I went to, they groomed me. You know what I'm saying? They shaped me. I came from one prison, that got locked up in a hole. FOI was very militant. And, we weren't breaking no rules, breaking no laws. We weren't doing anything. We would do things like when they called chow, we'd be the last ones to go eat. They don't like that because they like to control you. And we'll wait and be the last one. I'll go stand out there in the compound, brother, and shake all the prisoners' hands and tell them I love them. Brothers thought I was crazy. They really thought I was crazy. Brothers thought that, man, this brother done lost his mind. This brother was just gambling with me last week. He was just gambling with me last week. Now he out there telling me black man. It didn't happen. This is literally, brother, people sat me down, brother. You all right? I'm all right, brother. I just with me, brother. It's everything like that. And so people with that know me and they understand my energy, been knowing me since prison. They understand, no, that brother saw something. That brother heard something. I saw it in here. I heard it in my ears and I don't hear well, brother. I'm 60% deaf and I don't hear well. So I'm not crazy, brother. And I tell people all the time, you're going to see. You're going to see. You're going to see the work that a brother who come out of prison,
yes,
who
sir.
couldn't year in you understand? Got outsmarted, brother. Supposed to be the one day become a veteran, bro. Selling in the damn shooting themselves with the dang gun. How did he click that far, brother? My brother. People myself. You see, before I thought I could do it by myself. You see, before I thought it was me. But see, I got humbled, brother. And when I got humbled, God came at my most humble.
Okay, bro, Larry, you there? Okay, well, Larry's Wi-Fi has come back. I want to say thank you all for watching Off the Record. I want to just respond to you, brother Earl. Thank you for showing love. Walaikum salam, Sister Tracy. Walaikum salam, Sister Miriam. Walaikum salam, Naima. Sister Naima. Praise be to Allah. Powerful. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Sister Khadijah. Thank you, brother T. Farrell, who says, what a testimony, brother. T. Farrell, I haven't forgot about you. I can't wait to hear yours as well. Thank you for sharing your testimony, brother. That's Sister Miriam. Brother Michael says, Walaikum salam.
Praise you to Allah.
Brother Michael X. Moore, Walaikum salam. Thank you all for watching. Sister Tracy, Power at Last. Powerful, brother. Teach, brother. Brother Michael Muhammad says, ASA, brother, please don't tell your age. Brother Sister Tracy says, you're teaching. You're powerful. Sister Khadijah says, this is a blessing to have a brotherhood. Allahu Akbar. Sister Anita says, speak on it, sir. Brother Michael X. Moore, this is inspiring me. Praise be to Allah. And Sister Khadijah says, what a testimony again. Thank you, Sister Khadijah. Okay, Brother Larry, I want to stop you for just 1 brief second. Thank you for your transparency, sir. But I want to say, I want to also say that this podcast is brought to you by my sister Miriam's book, ABC I Love Me, which is on Amazon. Let's get that. She has a coloring book coming out on Amazon as well. My brother, Politically Oppressed, and his business partner, Brother Jamal, have a video production company. That's why if you see the camera, it is a little clearer this time. Shout out to my brother for buying the camera to help me step up the podcast with a clear vision. Thank you, sir. And my second children's book, Cleopatra, it is on Amazon as well. I want to thank everyone for doing that, brother Larry. We were stopped off, but I wanted to ask you a question. When you when you have such a powerful testimony, are you ever going to write it in a book or a movie or put it down in a way that a documentary, so people can see your life and hear
you froze.
Can you hear me?
You're freezing, brother. I can't hear you.
Oh no, really? I said, do you ever want to write a book?
Can you say no, sir? I just heard. Can you hear me? Have I thought about writing a book, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Brother, I a book years, brother, and I always say I don't think I've done enough yet. Because brother, it's really about the work, and it's like I'm speaking about the past. I'm not speaking about what I'm going through right now. Because if I speak about when I say I don't really, it takes you years to really understand some of the things that you're going through, and I just feel like I'd be doing the book maybe an injustice if I was to write it now, because it's a process, and maybe, somebody can, give me some time. That's a whole nother, that's something, that's an area I'm not familiar with, who would be willing to really take the time out to want something like that with me, for me to do that at this time, brother.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Brother Larry. And I want to thank everyone for watching. I didn't know that an hour had already come and gone so quick, sir. But I want to say that I am thoroughly inspired, and I just have a deeper understanding to who you are, sir.
You're gone out, brother.
Okay, it's all right. Well, thank you for sharing your testimony, Brother Larry, and thank you all for watching. Yes, we're going to put this on YouTube. Please like and share and subscribe. And Brother Larry, would you ever come back for a part 2 to go deeper into your story about what you're doing now?
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, you all
yes, sir. Thank you, brother. It's an honor, brother. It's an honor, brother.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Well, love you, Brother Larry. Please give the extended greetings to your family on behalf of myself and my family. Keep up the positive work, Brother Larry. Keep up the positive work. All right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.